Lewis, can we talk about a story in The Guardian and accent discrimination?
Oh, my God. Well, this is right up my alley, because according to The Guardian, and there was the British Academy, which I had to look up where they are. I don't even know, because there's so many British academies, British institutions. They seem like they're amazing.
You are in Britain, by the way.
I know, but it's like, what does the academy mean? It could be Academy of anything, anyway.
Is it like Police Academy?
Has
it got a guy that can do really good sound effects? And then a really tall policeman.
You know what, English? Well, it's about accents. And the thing is that they're saying that people with bad accents...
You've been saying bad accents. It's interesting that you say that. It's different accents.
Different accents. So this guy, Robert McKenzie's a doctor. He's from the Northumbria University Project, part of, this thing. He says that people with northern accents are not as respected as people in the South, wherever the South is considered, right? And he says that they're considered less ambitious, less educated, the people in the North, that they're that they're less intelligent solely based on the way they speak.
Okay.
Right? Which is not good, but at the same time, people in the North are also stereotyped as being friendly, outgoing, trustworthy, salt of the earth folks. So it's checks and...
Well, isn't this, Lewis, a perpetuation of victim culture? That all we do all day long now, all these organisations do, is think up different ways for groups to be depressed about themselves. So the latest now is, you've got a Northwest accent, and therefore life's going to be terrible to you.
That's why you're not successful. Well, the truth is that according to what this study has done, this accent discrimination is not even as bad as it used to be. It's getting better and better, yet they're making a big deal about it now. They didn't make a big deal about it, 50 years ago.
Yeah, but that's because arguably and I say this as obviously someone with quite a posh accent, the accents have been better represented on TV shows now, on news shows, not on this particular podcast, your accent. But it does have real world ramifications. I personally think there's massive discrimination about accents in this country. It also ties into class, and I would say it affects you. Arguably, I'd be interested to know the effect of, they talk about ethnicity and the different, I would say people's class, people's perceived class because of their accent has a big impact. It says here they're more likely to be found guilty in court, less likely to be offered a job in an interview, less likely to be given access to social housing. And as it says here, this has real world implications.
If they're in a place where they don't belong. Maybe.
Well, so you think it goes down to tribe? Well,
but it's like my situation. I speak from this firsthand because when I was in New York, I used to speak with a New York accent, and you probably think I speak with a New York accent now.
Oh, no, you've completely lost it. I thought you were from Sheffield.
Thank you very much. And I had a New York accent, and I actually went to a speech therapist in New York. And
you should have gone to an actual therapist. Money better spent.
And what makes America one of the greatest countries in the world? It was actually covered by my health insurance plan.
But why did you go to a speech therapist?
Because just like Northerners are not respected, and considered more intelligent, having a Brooklyn accent, I used to talk like this, and I still talk a lot like this. Talking like this, it's harder to get a job selling jet planes or selling high fancy clothes.
That's why you got into comedy, because you couldn't get a job selling jet planes.
But this accent is, that's what you're saying. Ironically, this accent is perfect for stand-up comedy. So Northerners should do what their voice says. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's true, because there are Northern comedians. I mean, half of their act is just the accent. I mean,
it's
Peter
just
Kay,
funny.
Very, very talented guy, but just the actual accent, the turn of phrase, makes the guy...
It makes him a megastar.
Megastar. I think you're right. So did they try to iron out your accent? Is that what?
Yeah, they did. I went to the guy that I went to was Andy McDowell's speech therapist. He's like that's what they call it in America. Speech therapist.
In the UK, you'd call that elocution.
Elocution lessons.
Yeah, and that would be to transfer your accent from a regional accent to what in this country is called RP, received pronunciation, or the Queen's English.
And that was my goal, is to have a standard American accent.
Did you get your money back?
Well, the interesting thing was, before I went to this place, I went all over I went to many different places looking for, and I would say to them, can you fix my accent? And they said, there's nothing wrong with the way you talk. You talk fine.
But your accent isn't the same as your parents' accent. I know.
No,
I know your parents.
Correct, yeah.
And you have quite an sort of
Well, both of
accent
my parents are Irish.
Yeah. And you're Republican, you grew up in a pub?
I grew up above a pub in Kentish Town, North London, and I went to a private school, so I guess that impacted my accent to a degree.
Yeah. That's it. My parents were working class. I went to a private school, and then suddenly you were posh. There you go.
Yeah.
And then do more doors get open to you? Here we are on television, arguably.
You could argue, let's not talk ourselves out of a gig.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But you
All
know
right,
something?
everybody.
Full disclosure, though, I don't want to appear insincere, but I actually spent quite a lot of money going to a speech therapist, like an elocution myself, to get a Brooklyn accent. And I talk like that for a while.
Alex accent.
It was terrible for my broadcasting
That's why
career.
you've done quite well.
And they said, do you know Louis Schaffer?
Louis?